Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, first-timer on Ron Siegel Radio. Dan Williams is with us. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Glad to have you with us. Hey, and let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I saw the celebrations today, and I don't think I've seen the commercial in a long, long time. What is it? Two all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles on a sesame seed bun. I guess but I don't know if that goes for today because today's National Hamburger Day. I don't know if the Big Mac has any hamburger in it, but that's a different subject. National Beef Burger Day. Okay, so if you're going to have the hamburger, you might as well get the beef. And it's also, now this one I can really get behind. Today's National Brisket Day. Now, I will share with you, those of you that are regulars with Ron Siegel Radio, number one, thank you. We appreciate you. But here's the issue. If you want the best brisket around, I'm going to tell you, yeah, it's my opinion, and I'm right. Go to Hickory and Spice in the city of Orange. So only opened on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until they sell out of food, which they do regularly. You can only make so much because it's all smoked, and he's a grand champion pitmaster. So it's not that brisket that's smothered in sauce and you can't see it other than the sauce. You don't even need any sauce for it. It's so good. What time is it? It doesn't open until 11:30. So as we record this, it's just about 9. So by the time we finish the broadcast, I'll only have to wait an hour to go see him over there at Hickory and Spice. National Brisket Day. Hey, let's see what's going on in the markets today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 33 points. The NASDAQ is up 156 points. Ooh. Yeah, we like that one. The S&P 500 is up 36. Oil up $1.44 a barrel. Ow! Yeah, going the wrong way. I guess it's all because wait a second. Is the war on? Is the war off? Is the ceasefire on? Is the ceasefire off? And the White House, again, as always, the president has announced an Iran deal completely done, except for all the major parts. Yeah. So, I'm a supporter of the administration. I think we hear too much from them because anybody that's listening to this realizes the conflict isn't over. They don't have any clue about a ceasefire. Has anybody ever heard of a ceasefire when both sides attack each other? I don't understand that. Now, I'm not a military guy. I'm just a guy doing a little radio here and there. But I watch those things, and then you see oil up $1.40 a barrel. It was down earlier in the day. And what does that mean to us? Well, Because even though we've got a ceasefire, and even though, we just shot down some of their drones, which were on the way to attack some of our boats. I guess that's the new definition of ceasefire. And we're energy independent, but here in the formerly Golden State, our gas price is $6.08 a gallon. Ow! The national average, $4.43 a gallon. And why is our gas prices going up if we don't use any of the gas from the Middle East? Oh, wait, we don't have refineries, so we don't use the gas that we get out of the U.S. We ship that to other countries, and our refineries are all making the heavy sour oil, which comes from the Middle East or Venezuela. So even though we're energy independent, supposedly, we're dependent on getting our gas from other places, especially here in the formerly Golden State, because we have Gavin Newsom for the last, 24 years, I think he's been either a governor or lieutenant governor or mayor or causing trouble in the state of California, and he wants to do it nationwide next. You got to love some of these things, don't you? Let's see what else is going on. Got a whole slew of economic data coming out today, and we are looking, it's interesting, even with our gas prices, our fuel prices going up the way they've gone up, I'm looking at some of the numbers, and you know something, we're looking at core PCE. That's when you take out food and energy. 0.2% is the rounded number. 0.16 is the unrounded number. Now, if you do 0.016 or 0.16 at 0.16, multiply that times 12. Is my math right, or does that get us to the 2% that the Federal Reserve is talking about as wanting as their target inflation number? Oh, yeah. But Lisa Cook, again, an anti-Trumper that is on the Federal Reserve, prepared to raise rates if inflation lingers. So Jerome is gone.
Such an idiot.
Well, he's
idiot.
not the chairman anymore. He's still on the FOMC. But Lisa Cook, you know, she's there. She's gonna. I guess we get the sound for her now.
Such an idiot.
Yeah. And we look at Fed's Jefferson, says he's focusing on inflation as the labor market is very resilient. I guess if you're one of those, where's our number here on the labor market? 215,000 people that got laid off. Is that resilient to you? I don't know. We'll look at it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, investors, you got to listen up today because we're going to learn something. All of us learning together. The real reason some people are still moving right now, and how would you feel if your first car quietly cost you your first home? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay's available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com, and every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the number you put in your mortgage calculator. They only tell us the number you need to put in. They put the number in the calculator. If you don't have a calculator, rsrlinks.com/calculators. rsrlinks.com/calculators. This is a suite of about 80 illustrators that'll tell you almost anything you want to know about personal finance. Might even be business finance. It might be any kind of finance. It's all right there. All these illustrators are getting this out there for you. But the number we're talking about now, your mortgage calculator, rsrlinks.com/calculators. Rates yesterday. It looks like a mixed bag to me. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.483. That was up. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.558. That was down. FHA 30-year fix, 6.248. That was up. VA 30-year fix, 6.093. That was down. And the USDA 30-year fix, 6.225. That one was up. And if you want to know our thoughts about the market, join the community. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. rsrlinks.com/HBOD. So what are the markets doing today? The S&P 500 is up 39 points. 10-year Treasuries down 2 basis points, 4.46. Mortgage bond up 9 basis points. Remember, bond up, rates down, not personal opinion. It's just mathematics. Now, let's take a look and see what's driving these numbers here. So we've got oil prices. It's another one of those big ones. And I love looking at the headlines. So I keep the headlines going on a screener in front of me. And it says, Trump has patience and not anxious to make a bad deal. I would say patience are a good word right here, Mr. President. 6 weeks into the 2-week ceasefire. So just throw that out there for you. And because that's what's driving the market. So more disappointment out of the Iran-U.S. peace deal negotiations, balancing out the bond market with some softer than expected GDP growth figures and cooler than expected monthly PCE inflation readings. Now, during the prior Fed administrations, PCE was their favorite measure of inflation. Got a new Fed chair. Don't know if it's going to still be his favorite. U.S. said that the memorandum of understanding, which included Iran opening the Strait of Hormuz to pre-war levels within 30 days of a deal being made, was a complete fabrication. Additionally, the U.S. and Iran exchanged more strikes against each other last night, bringing into the question the very fragile ceasefire. This caused oil to move higher and applied some pressure to stocks and bonds. We got the second reading of the Q1 GDP. That was that disappointment, falling from 2% to 1.6%. This report covers from January to March, but shows that the economy is already starting to slow before the full impact of higher oil prices. Let's also remember that roughly half of the GDP figure is due to AI build-out, which means other sectors are doing much worse. Wonder if they're listening to that at the Fed. We have discussed several times how higher oil prices initially causes inflation fears and yields to rise, but if oil prices remain elevated for a prolonged period of time, it can cause demand destruction, a slowdown in the global economy, and potentially recession. Interesting, this could help bonds in the long run. Don't like recessions, but if you're looking at bonds, it's good. PCE inflation report for April showed that headline all-in inflation rose 0.4%, which was 1/10 lower than expectations. Year over year, headline PCE rose from 3.5 to 3.8%, in line with market expectations, but still very high. Core reading, which strips out food and energy for those that don't eat or drive, rose 0.2%, also 1/10 lighter than expected. Year over year, PCE core rose from 3.2 to 3.3 as anticipated. The inflation figures rose and moved in the wrong direction. They were better than some feared, especially when considering the shelter anomaly that we've discussed previously. Due to the shutdown, the shelter inflation figures were carried forward because they could not collect the data, which caused a temporary spike and double hit in the April CPI and PCE inflation reports. As a result, PCE shelter rose 0.5%, which is much hotter than the figures we have been seeing. Even still, core PCE was only up 0.2 month over month, showing that other items were doing okay without the anomaly, which will not be there next month, we hope. Core inflation would have come in even lighter. Also within this report was the savings rate, which fell sharply from 3.2 to 2.6. Reflection of people having to spend more and save less due to oil prices, especially those of us in California. You don't get around without having the car. You go to the pump, you hold your nose, and you put the gas in. You don't have a choice. Durable goods orders in April rose 7.9%, which looks like a blockbuster figure. But you know better than that.
You know better than that.
Yeah, it was all due to very large aircraft orders. The more important core reading, which strips out defense and aircraft spending, fell 1.1%. Much worse than estimates. This is another report showing a bit of a slowdown in the economy in April. Are you listening to that, Lisa Cook?
Such an idiot.
Yeah, unbelievable. Initial jobless claims measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time rose 5,000 to 215,000. Still a low number, but once again, does not factor in those entering the gig economy or receiving a severance package. Was it 8,000 people from Meta, Facebook, Instagram got laid off at the beginning of this month? So we'll see what's happening. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by rsrloans.com, rsrloans.com. So it's learning time on Ron Siegel Radio. So we're going to get some education today. Dan Williams is with us. He is a colleague of mine in the certified liability advisor world. I talked about that all the time. And Dan had some great conversation that he was sharing. He shares all the time. It's a great collaboration of people who are sharing and working together to help bring education to the community. But Dan, talk to us a little bit. You've got a venture going on. I love the URL or the domain name, Not So Golden California. Tell us what you got going on. Did we lose Dan?
No, I'm here. I lost you for a second, Ron. I'm sorry.
So tell us what you've got going on. We've got some new stuff happening, it looks like.
Well, yeah, Ron, thanks for having me on, by the way. I truly appreciate the opportunity to share. In my mortgage practice, I've been in this industry for 20 years now. And about 5 or 6 years ago, to trying to advise our clients on the efficiency of real estate investment. the effectiveness of real estate investment and how it worked inside of their investment portfolio. So it's a bit of a long story. I'll let you guide as far as what I should or shouldn't share. But that's really the gist of who we're trying to help. And one little thing I would add, we have found the greatest opportunity to increase liquidity, safety, and rate of return, which is part of the CLA content, to what we call the one home investor. That is that person who owns one rental home. More often than not, it was their first home. They grew up, grew out of it, moved out, and decided to keep it as an investment. And that one home investor shares a couple of key characteristics that it's amazing how often we see that with that one home investor.
So tell me some of the characteristics. We've talked on Ron Siegel Radio several times that I've got a 20-year retirement plan, especially for young people. And it sounds like it might piggyback on what you're talking about. I've said, buy your first home. It doesn't matter what it is. Wait 3, 4, 5 years and buy your second home, keep the first one and rent it out and do that 4 or 5 times over. And by the end of 20 years, you've got 4 or 5 houses appreciating at 5% here in Orange County anyway. And you can retire from that. So tell us what you've learned over this time period.
And Ron, I was with you 100% the same advice. And I used to tell people, you only really need to do that once to be set in retirement. Everybody has different goals, different objectives. But a handful of years ago, my business partner, Todd Swanson, who is now a retired Marine, he was deployed in Bahrain. And on any deployment, you have days, weeks of crazy busyness and days of weeks of crazy boredom. You know, you've heard that military statement, hurry up and wait. During one of these downtimes, Todd started doing some research on where is the best place to buy rental homes in America. If you were to buy single family homes, where would you buy? And through a bunch of research, he stumbled onto this concept of rent to price ratio, which is your monthly rent divided by the value of the home currently. And there's a couple of different unique measuring sticks, but popped up the 1% rule. And that is 1% of the value of the home in monthly rent. Well, Orange County, San Diego County, anywhere in California, you're not getting that. $1 million home, you're not renting it for $10,000 a month, right? So what's interesting is there are other markets in America where you can. So once again, in that search to really add value to our clients that did that one home investment, i.e. bought that home and then moved up, moved out, we said, what would happen if they relocated that investment class? No, we don't need to go down the explanation of 1031 exchanges and all of that, capital gains tax. But so another kind of right turn we took was, if we were to help our clients do it, how would we do it? And a lot of clients were really uncomfortable moving to a different market. They wanted someone to do it for them. So make a long story short, we created an investment syndicate in Michigan, which was one of those 1% markets. And I'm going to fast forward to you today. We pooled well over $1 million from our client base, and we've bought single family homes north of Detroit. And that 1% rule we now are getting. So Ron, let me know if we're running out of time.
Yeah. When we come back, I want to understand why
after the break.
Yeah. When we come back, I want to understand how did you come up with this 1%? What does that mean? Why did you use 1%? And why doesn't it work? I mean, you look in Southern California, it's probably 1/10 of 1%. Why doesn't that work? So when we come back, I want to chat about that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. The real reason some people are still moving right now, and how would you feel if your first car quietly cost you your first home? All that and more Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel's the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart segment today. Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. A new car can feel like freedom, but sign the wrong paperwork at the dealership today, and that car can quietly cost you the house you wanted to buy 2 years from now. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Here's what most first-time car buyers never hear at the dealership. The car payment you sign today is not just a car payment. It is a line on your debt-to-income ratio. And that ratio is what mortgage lenders use to decide how much house you can qualify for. So when a finance manager says, I can get you into this car for $650 a month, what you're really hearing is, I just took about $130,000 off your future home purchase power. Let me paint the picture. Hypothetical first-time buyer, 24 years old, renting, makes $75,000 a year, walks into a dealership and rolls out in a nice SUV at $650 a month. Feels great. 18 months later, that same buyer is sitting in my Zoom room, wants to buy a $500,000 condo. We run the numbers. That $650 car payment just reduced their maximum mortgage qualification by about $130,000. The condo they wanted is now out of reach, not because of income, not because of credit, because of one decision they made at a dealership 18 months earlier. Strategy beats rate always. So what should you actually do? Start with what you can afford, and I do not mean the monthly payment. I mean the full picture, the loan payment, insurance, which for a first-time buyer is often $200 to $300 a month, gas or charging, maintenance and repairs, registration, tolls, parking if you live in the city. Most people focus on one number, the monthly payment. That is the wrong number. The right number is the total cost of ownership compared to your monthly take-home pay. Here's a rule that has saved a lot of first-time buyers a lot of pain. Keep all your transportation costs under 15% of your take-home pay. That includes the payment, the insurance, the gas, and the maintenance. All in. If you can't get there with the car you want, you're looking at the wrong car. Not the wrong rate, the wrong car. Now let's talk about credit. Before you walk into any dealership, pull your own FICO score, not the free version from your credit card app, the real one. You can do that at rsrlinks.com/FICO, rsrlinks.com/FICO, F-I-C-O. Know your number before the dealership pulls it, because the difference between a 680 score and a 720 score on a $35,000 loan over 5 years can be $2,000 to $4,000 in extra interest. That is real money. Money that should be sitting in your savings account, not the lender's pocket. Get pre-approved before you shop. Walk in with a financing offer already in hand. That changes the entire conversation. You're no longer a buyer hoping for a deal. You're a buyer who already is financing and is only there for the car. The dealer competes for your business instead of trapping you in theirs. And here's the part nobody at the dealership will say out loud. A reliable used car is usually the smarter first car. A 2-year-old vehicle has already taken the worst of the depreciation hit. You get the same reliability for thousands less. Your insurance is lower. Your payment is lower. Your stress is lower. Strategy beats rate always. I offer a free tool that walks you through all of this: budget, credit monitoring, asset tracking, the full picture of what you can really afford before you sign anything. It's called Key Steps. Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Set it up. Track your budget, watch your credit, build the foundation that makes both the car and the house possible. Because the goal is not just to drive a new car, the goal is to drive the right car and still qualify for the home you want and still have liquidity in the bank when life throws you a curveball. That is strategic debt management. That is what a certified liability advisor does. Every debt decision gets looked at through the lens of how it affects every other financial decision you will make for the next 10 years, including the one you make at the dealership this weekend. So before you test drive, build the budget, pull your credit, get pre-approved, know your real number, then go shopping. Go to rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Set up your budget, monitor your credit, and track your assets so you make the next decision from a position of strength, not pressure. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrwealthbuilder.com, rsrwealthbuilder.com. Continuing our conversation with Dan Williams, we're learning about investment properties. And Dan, before the break, you were chatting about this rule of thumb that you're using, the rent to value ratio, using a 1% rule. How did you come up with 1%? Why 1%? What is all that got? What does it mean?
So 1% is not something that I came up with. That's kind of in the investment property world. It's a goal that many try to get to. I filter, and this is really important for your audience, Ron. We all want to increase the amount of income we get on any rental property. It makes common sense. Absolutely, the bottom line is what's most important. As you were just speaking about with the car payment, that's a great analogy, or a great story, by the way. So the 1% rule is just a rule of thumb. It's more of a guideline. I think it's a better way to look at it. And that guideline gets us into a better conversation. I call it the first filter. I want to look at that and say, okay, let's talk about Southern California. Let's talk about Orange County right now, Ron. $1 million home is going to rent for $4,000, $4,500 a month ish, in that range.
Yeah, probably a little less
be
than that even, yeah, a little less even.
Yeah. Okay. So 4,000. Let's just use 4,000 on $1 million home. We're going to translate that to a bond term, or 40 basis points. Okay. 40 basis points is a very, very low rent to price ratio. Excuse me. In markets we're investing, and we talk about the Detroit, we created a syndicate. We raised money from our database, our people we work with. We registered with the SEC. In Detroit right now, north of Detroit, we are getting almost 3 times that. So that $1 million investment in real estate, we're getting almost $12,000 a month. So
Wow.
I don't tell that to people to invest in Michigan. We have a team there. We have learned a ton of lessons over the last few years operating this syndicate. But the key takeaway for us was rent to price ratio varies in every market in America. It's something that we didn't have clarity on until we started going down this path. So I can share with you a real life case study we're doing with a client of mine. Just closed yesterday on the sale of his home in San Diego County, $900,000 home. Guess what he was getting a month? $3,600 a month, 40 basis points. Back to our one home investor. This is important. One of the characteristics I mentioned, Ron, I'm telling you 97 or 8% of the time, that one home investor, the home they're renting is below market in rent. Consistently, they are not getting what the market will bear in rent. Why? They have a great tenant they don't want to lose. They have a tenant who's taking care of the home. Well, if you want to let someone else benefit off your investment, I know you wouldn't do that with a mutual fund, with a bond, with a stock. But this is the key point. They are letting someone else benefit at their expense. And we do an analysis on this. Similar to what my client is doing. He's doing a 1031 exchange on this property. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. I want to talk about my consultation with him. This is a guy I've known for a dozen years. I helped him buy this home 12 years ago. He says, Dan, there's no way I'm selling this home. We have a 3% mortgage. I'm cash flowing. Why would I sell this home? And I said, that's fine. I'm just going to walk you through our process. We're going to share what's happening with this home. His return on equity was 0.5%. Terrible investment. Could we re-amortize the loan? No, it made no sense. Could we take out cash and invest it? We're still going to raise his interest rate. It's okay. The real opportunity was doing a 1031 exchange. He's 40 years old, wants to lever up and buy more real estate. So we're relocating that investment from San Diego County. He's buying 4 homes in a market we're actively investing in the Memphis suburbs. The rent to price ratio there is about 65 basis points. So overnight, he is going from a $397 per month profit to almost $2,000. He's getting out of San Diego County and the regulatory challenges of San Diego and California, being a landlord. He's eliminating his insurance risk because it's pretty close to the beach. And he's making more money. So we're going to increase the safety. We're going to increase his liquidity because he's generating a lot more cash. And we're increasing his rate of return. 3 tenets of our CLA, Certified Liability Advisor concept. So he is going to see, because he levered up, he'll own 1.6 million versus the 900K now. His net wealth impact on a 20-year outlook, that was his timeline. He wanted to look at 20 years. Ron, he is going to increase his wealth by $2.7 million by making this one change with no money out of pocket. And It's a safer investment. $2.7 million impact from the home that he said he was never going to sell. So we walked through the analysis, and Ron, what did he say to me at the end of the analysis? Can I list this home today? It was that earth moving. And we go into this not trying to steer people in one way, but we want to show them all 5 options of what they have with that rental property.
That's pretty amazing. And that's one of the things that I love about what we're doing with the in the certified liability program is it's not about trying to convince somebody. You show somebody the numbers and say, okay, do you want to double your revenue? Do you want to double your net worth? Do you want to take it and add $2 million, or do you want to not do it? It's up to you. But and probably if you're going into the Tennessee market as opposed to the California market, you're going to have less regulation, less tax liabilities. So you got a lot of different benefits there. So it's fascinating, the idea of just showing somebody numbers and saying, hey, you make the call now that but make it from a point of education instead of emotion. And it's a big point. We're going to continue our conversation with Dan Williams when we come back. The reason some people are still moving right now, we might get to it, we might not. And more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference in the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, RSRNoDebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. RSRNoDebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to RSRNoDebt.com. RSRNoDebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. The real reason some people are still moving right now. You may be telling yourself you're going to wait to move. Maybe you're hoping mortgage rates will come down, prices will fall, or the market will feel a little easier. And honestly, a lot of people feel that way right now, but here's what some are starting to realize. Waiting doesn't usually fix the thing that made you want to move in the first place. Your family still desperately needs more room. Your empty nest still feels too empty. Your parents or grandparents still need you to live closer. You just got married or divorced. Your vision of retirement has you living somewhere else. Eventually, life can reach a point where waiting feels harder than moving. That's why some people are still deciding to buy right now. Got something pop up on my screen here. Even in today's market, not because conditions are perfect, but because the life changes behind their move never really went away. And maybe that's exactly where you are too. Data from the National Association of Realtors shows 1 in 5 buyers last year said they felt like they had to purchase a home at that time, no matter the market. That's an important reminder right now. Sure, the dollars and cents of your move have to make sense for you, but big life changes happen whether mortgage rates and home prices are high, low, or somewhere in between. And those big life events happen more than you may think. NAR says roughly 22.5 million people experience major life changes in a typical 2-year span if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv. Any of our socials are ABC, News and Talk, AM 1490, and FM 98.1 video feed. You are seeing a chart. 22.5 million people experience big life changes every 2 years, and it's got them showing. These are exactly the kinds of things that can change how much space you need, where you want to live, and what kind of lifestyle makes sense now. Chen Zhao, head of economics research at Redfin, explains, quote, life doesn't stand still. People get new jobs, grow their families, downsize after retirement, or simply want to live in a different neighborhood, unquote. And that's what makes waiting so hard. Every month you spend hoping the market changes is another month living in a house that no longer works for your life. It's stressful to feel stuck, and that feeling usually does not disappear. But while affordability is still a challenge, there may still be a way for you to make your move. The number of homes for sale has been growing for 4 straight years. That means more homes to choose from, and in some markets, more room to negotiate than buyers had just a few years ago. That doesn't mean moving is suddenly easy, but it does mean some buyers are finding ways to make a move work. So if you've been putting your plans on hold, maybe the question isn't just, what's the market doing, or when will it get better? Maybe ask yourself this too, quote, can I still live where I'm at right now and make it work, unquote. If the answer to that second question is no, it may be worth having a conversation about what your options look like today. Despite where rates or prices are, you could find your move is still possible after all. With more homes for sale, there's a better chance to find one that fits your life and your budget right now. Bottom line, life changes, priorities shift, families grow, kids move out, careers evolve, and eventually the house you're in may stop fitting the life you're living. If that's been weighing on you lately, let's talk through what your options could realistically look like today, no matter where rates or prices are. Life can always wait for the perfect market condition. Maybe you don't have to either. Bottom line, that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, Dan Williams is talking to us about moving and maybe getting out of California, but not doing it out of spite or out of emotion, doing it out of economics, dollars and cents. So Dan, I got some questions about your program that you articulated. I love the study you shared in the last segment. But you know, when someone's looking at these things, Now, the 900,000, was that a free and clear property? Obviously, you said there was a mortgage on it. So do you have to get a new mortgage on the new properties, or how does that work?
Yeah, with a 1031 exchange, you have to take that level of indebtedness with you at a minimum. So let's use a round number. He needs to buy 9,000 minimum in mortgage debt. So you got to kind of keep apples to apples. So, once again, this is for people who own rental properties. This is not a primary residence strategy. And so, yes, he did have a mortgage, and he acquires a new mortgages with his increased number of homes that he's buying.
Okay, and when you said that you're doing these syndicates, is it each individual? Does he own all of them, or is there a group of people that are going into some of these different projects that you're talking about?
The syndicate is a separate animal. It's a separate beast. So the syndicate is just like a mutual fund. People contribute money to own a share inside the syndicate where we buy single family homes. So, it's not an issue where, like Greg, my client, is selling this and buying into the syndicate. He's buying homes in his own name. The syndicate came from a place where we were listening to our clients who said, I want to invest in real estate, Dan, but I really don't want to be an investor. I don't want to deal with toilets and tenants and those things. So it's really a hands-off passive investment.
The big three that they don't want: tenants, toilets, and trash.
That's right. That's right. And people really, really are interested in investing in real estate, which I'm sure you experience as well. But my first question for a new investor: do you want to deal with the T's? Do you want to be a landlord? And if the answer is not unequivocally yes, well, then we need to figure out a different way for you to invest in real estate.
So let's go back to Greg and talk about his situations. I think he said he bought 3 houses. Is that what I heard?
4
houses. So does he have to go back there and deal with the tenants, toilets, and trash, or how does that part of it?
The company we deal with is a professional property manager and a developer. It's under one umbrella. It's an amazing story how that company started, but they currently manage over 1,200 doors in the greater Memphis area, which includes into Mississippi. So no, they have a professional manager. My business partner, Todd, individually has owned homes there for years, and he has had amazing success with it. And that's where our latest syndicate is investing in that area as well.
Okay, so he's still got the benefit of the real estate and all that goes with that, but he doesn't have to deal with the T's that nobody really wants to deal with, especially if he's in San Diego or Southern California somewhere, and the property's in Tennessee. He probably doesn't know a handyman in Tennessee, where the property management company probably has staff that are doing it. How does somebody get involved in doing these things?
And Ron, you hit on a very important point. Well, let me hit one issue, and back to that one home investor. I always ask that one home investor who has fear of buying a home hundreds, 1,000 miles away, right? It's a common fear. Who wouldn't? I always ask that one home investor, when was the last time you were in that rental property that you have down the street? Oh, it's been a couple years, or I haven't been in it home since this tenant rented it 3 years ago. Very common, once again, very common with that one home investor. So your next question, how does someone get involved? If you own a rental property now, I think you owe yourself the effort to find out, how is that home really performing? You and I deal with people who are saying it cash flow. Someone else is paying my mortgage. That's not an investment metric. That's a cash flow situation on what's happening. So one of the cool things about our process is the first thing we do is quantify their current investment. We want them to understand the numbers. Then they can make a determination of, can I do better elsewhere or not? Or is there a legacy attached to this home? Hey, it's grandma's home. I'm never selling it. Okay, that's great. How can we help you increase the financial performance of that home? So the first step is let's run them through our system. We have a couple different tools we use to help quantify return on equity, cash on cash, all of those investment metrics.
So it's basically a start. It's like in so many areas of what all of us do. It all has to do. You start off with the consultation, and then you're going from there. How does somebody get a hold of you?
Well, the best way is just to reach out to me via email at daniel@sandiegolending.us. Daniel@sandiegolending.us. Send me an email. I'm happy to connect and help you understand the investment property investment, that channel of your portfolio, and we can determine if there's anything to do. And often there isn't.
Perfect. And if you want more information, obviously I know how to get a hold of Dan. So you can always reach us at Ron Siegel Radio. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.